Sports back at the Punches TV. Here we have Dario Hinds, better known as Ric Flair. He's in the spotlight. He's playing for the third and fourth against the world boss, Julian White. Here with me we have the young Dre Smith.
I want to say good night to the viewers. This is Rocky Guy here. Glad to be back doing commentary here. We're now in the finals, the final night of the Barbados Tennis Open 2022. And today on court we have two very capable A-class players, Dario Ric Flair Hinds and Julian Michael Jackson White.
There we see Julian White is approaching the court. He's dressed in a tracksuit top and bottom.
Just to give a brief history, Julian White, Julian White went up against Mark Venom Griffith. He lost 2 straight, so he retired in the third game. And Dario Hinds went up against the Prince of Road Tennis, Shaquem Nurse. And he lost 3 games to 0 for Little Tickle, as they call it here in Barbados.
And Shaquem Nurse, you know, he did perform beautifully. Give Dario Hinds 3 straight.
On the A side of the court,
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Hinds, known as Ric Flair. Please give him a round of applause. And on the B side of the court, Julian White, known as Michael Jackson, our world boss. Please give him a round of applause. Dario won the toss and he picked the side.
ladies and gentlemen, the last 2 times that these men would have met would have been in the Simon Bain Road Tennis Tournament. It's a shotgun tournament. And then again before that in another shotgun tournament in Gore Hill, St. John. And Dario Ric Flair Hinds was victorious on both occasions, beating Michael Jackson 21-15 and Julian White beating Dario Hinds in the Simon Bain camp 21-18. So these 2 players have very tight rivalries, and we expect a strong match here on court tonight.
You know, in the last semi-final match, you know, Jackson, he wasn't feeling well. He was complaining of chest pains. But I hope that he have recovered, and we're going to see a very competitive set tonight.
So. Got I saw him playing yesterday, getting a knock in the sauna, and he seemed to be in good nick. We didn't see him 100%, but he seemed fit enough to come and contest here tonight. So we expect a strong set from these 2 gentlemen here tonight.
But Julian White, he is ranked as the number 2 road tennis player in Barbados, and Dario Hinds is considered the number either 5 or 6 player. So, if you were a betting person in terms of the odds, you would tend to favor Julian White because of his ranking. Both of these players are defenders, Mr. Dre.
Indeed. Dario Hinds is a very strong exponent of the backarm style of playing. His backarm is his strength. We saw the Shaquem Nurse attacking the form of Dario and finding great success just a few nights ago. So far we've seen a great level of attack here from Julian White. Drag to the backarm.
Yeah, what he was saying here is basically vintage Julian White.
Well past his prime at this stage, but he's still a very strong player. Here tonight he's contesting for 10,000 Barbados in this 3rd and 4th place matches. And Doreen, I don't know about you, but $10,000 is a very favorable purse.
Yes.
10,000 Barbados, so both players definitely want to bring their A game. Dario probably telling himself 10 grand can buy a lot of Nike, and Julian White has other probably means to spend that cash. So these players will definitely bring a strong match here tonight. Definitely A-class tennis, and we wait to see what will happen. The game's still yet young.
Yes, but I noticed something though, that the players at this finals, their outfit have changed. You know anything about the outfit? Dre, I know you're a guy that being
Beautiful drop shot there. You really see Julian White being an exponent of what we call an injection, but that one was well anticipated. He played it well, and he found great success. To what you were saying, Jordan, about the attire, yes, I realized before they were wearing the green and pink.
Yeah.
It was very colorful. But tonight on the final night, we see the
National colors.
national colors here in
Yes.
Barbados. And I'm actually
Blue,
quite
white.
impressed with the attire in
Blue,
which
yellow, and
the
black.
council has chosen to be used as the final day's
Four
attire.
serving four.
You know? But after all, it's called the Barbados World Tennis Open, so we expect to see some kind of national colors here on the final night.
I think it's a very good thing
This
that
is emergency
Barbados World Tennis Open have done in terms of changing
T6121, please move your vehicle
because
urgently.
you know
61,
having two players
21.
wearing the
Four
same
all.
jersey, it tends a bit confusing
Indeed.
in terms of identifying the players for the viewers.
Five.
But you know, Jordan, as far as attire is concerned, Dario Hinds will still find a way to sneak in his Nike.
Oh, lovely shot there by Dario Hinds.
And that is Dario's pet shot. Dario tends to play the ball with a loop. He loops over the ball, a great level of top spin, power behind it. And when he plays that shot, Jordan, it's definitely a spectacle.
Four serving to six.
Dario now leading by 2, Julian White serving, 4 serving to 6. Consistent rally here. Jordan,
Four
I don't
serving
know
to
what
seven.
approach Julian White is bringing to the match here tonight. He's going into Dario's backhand quite a bit. And Dario's backhand is his strength, as we would have depicted earlier. So I think that Julian White should deter from Dario's backhand, come more into his form, and he should find a bit more success there. But Jordan, in tennis, there's a theory called starving the arm. And maybe Julian White is attempting that here tonight. For the listeners at home, starving the arm is an approach where you tend to begin the game in a strong point of the player, hoping to stick close to them, trailing by 1 or 2 points, time with them if possible, and then the latter part of the game, switching to the weakness of the player.
Five serving
That
to
theory,
nine.
Donnie, is very successful most of the time. Because a player not having a great level of balls coming to their strong point, their weak point, sorry, it hasn't yet warmed up. And we see there again, Dario is boiling from his
Nine
forearm.
six.
But you know, if you are aware of the history of Michael Jackson, tends not to play his first game.
Yes, Jackson's first. I always tell persons that if you're willing to put funds on a Jackson game, do not base your bets off of Jackson's first game,
Serving to six.
because you will be in for a shock in the second, third, and if a fourth game is played, the fourth game. Because Julian White, his first game, he feels up the court, his movements,
A
and
reminder.
I know that you said, you know,
61,
Julian White is not in his
21.
prime, and that phenomenon
Ten serving to
tend
seven.
to occur in his prime. I know that he's older. I don't think that he's going to get any better.
yeah, indeed. But you know, darling, Julian White has won 53 tournaments here in Barbados. He has nothing to prove at this point. That is what we need to see from Julian White,
Ten
darling.
serving to
And
seven.
you can see there, he started off in the back arm. He realized that Dario was beginning to come into the court and finding some pace into the form. And Dario was spoiling almost
11
as though it
serving
was a
to
given.
seven.
What Darling scores now is 11 to Dario, 7 to Julian White. Julian White is definitely behind the 8 ball. And he would need to pull himself back into this game. Maybe at this point he would want to change his approach.
Attempted shot there by Dario, but it's out, called out. 11 serving 8. Right now, Julian White, he's creeping back into this game.
But then have you observed that most A-class players, if not all A-class players, and it is difficult to beat them to their backhand? Most A-class players have a wall-like backhand. And even though their form is consistent, their weakness tends to be there. Because in road tennis, everybody begins in the player's backhand. And to become A-class, to have so many players stress your backhand. And it's now strong. And Donnie, you are a strong exponent of the backhand, so you would agree
Thank you very much,
that
sir.
most A-class players have strong backharms.
8 serving to 12. You see Julian White facing the camera. He's 8, and back in the camera is Dario Hinds.
8 serving to 13.
He's 13.
Dalton, in this, the first game. Beautiful.
Oh my.
9 serving to 13.
Ric Flair dropped his sword in battle. and he was left stranded.
That is something that you would not want to do, Darren.
No,
Leave yourself unarmed.
not up against a very experienced player like Julian White.
Well, Darren, as I said, Ric Flair tends to put a lot of spin behind the ball. So when chopping the ball there, he had to bring the racket from, oh, well done. And Darren, that is the Julian White that we're used to seeing. Finding a hole and putting the ball away confidently and positively. He's not like Anton Daniels and Shaquem Nurse looks to do it as fast as possible, but he finds a hole, he builds on it, finds a hole, and puts the ball away. And that is definitely a blast on the pass there.
Yeah, classic Julian White.
Indeed.
You see, he stepped to his forearm and he stroked that ball.
Jordan, I don't know if you recognize it there, but judging from that service, I think that
Service change.
this is now what you call crunch time. Scores exceeding 15 or around 15. Players would now seek to push, head for home, as we say here in road tennis. And Dario now serving. Where will he go? Center court there. Beautiful turnover. We await the official's word though.
It's called out.
Dario accepts the fact that the ball is out. On that occasion. From our vantage point, it looked like a good shot, but we always have to wait until the official word is given.
And observing Dario's body language, you know, tell that ball was up.
I don't know what happened there just now, Darren, but Dario missed the whole ball.
Maybe it's the bumps, the unevenness of the court.
Surface, yeah,
surface.
Probably, Darren.
Maybe there was something on the court.
Well, thus far, Julian White has won most of Dario's 5 service. He now has 3 in the bank. Dario has not yet won any. And Julian White would definitely want to capitalize on this because after this now, he would have the serve. And if Julian White wins his first game, Darren, I do not think that Dario would stand a chance because, as we said earlier, Julian White's first game is not his strongest game. So if he's to win this first game, it's not going to look on the up and up for Ric Flair Hinds.
You will notice here that Dario is stroking the ball with his forearm. I think he's trying to camouflage the flaws in his forearm. So he's stroking the ball, right? But Julian White is up to the task.
She got in that particular ball there. Center court on the baseline. Julian White was approaching court to look for a shot, but the ball came back court onto the baseline, choking Julian White, and all he could do there was flick the ball off of his body, and the ball rebounded in his court first, and then went over to Dario's court. So that's great thinking there by Dario, a great play.
Yeah, I think the Julian White that we're seeing here tonight is not the Julian White of old. I think he's suffering from what I would call battle injuries. Haven't played the games for so long, almost over 30 years. At a very high level as well.
This man has won 53 tournaments, inclusive of 12 bank tournaments. And I wasn't around in those times, Donnie. You may have been. But,
Yeah.
oh! Well done! Julian White on the attack. Julian White on the attack. Positive strokes there. Bringing that ball from low over the net to Dario's form. And definitely something to be proud of and want to repeat. Well done there. As I was saying before that, Julian White has won 12 bank tournaments. And I've heard that the toughest tournament to win in Barbados, the big bank tournament, made by all players in the past who were strong players. And you've had to beat a great number of them to get to the final stages and then to win.
Usually, the banks tournament are not all one-sided. You couldn't normally predict who would win the banks and those times, but the players were at that time were exceptionally well.
Players like the Tiny Jordan. We also had the Antoine Little Man Daniels, Pa Riley, Pa Roach. We had a lot of persons around that were strong players.
You had Richardson.
We have players like
Armand Hype.
St. George, but known as T-Bud. Barabas, Iris Mitchell. So there were a lot of strong players around that time, Donnie. Tonight in the VIP section, we have a number of them there taking in the action. And Donnie is definitely something that I find to be positive to have players from the past, the strongest exponents of the game,
Service change.
sat to watch
Next,
action.
service 16.
You know, they deserve a certain level of respect. They brought the game to where it is here today. They've made great contributions, and definitely something that we should see being incorporated more often.
Yeah, it's a very good
Initiative, yeah.
talk by the
Service
officials. And as a young man, I'm very impressed with you, Mr. Dre Smith, for recognizing that. You know, because not for these, what you call the pioneers of the sport,
Indeed.
you would not be playing the sport.
Exactly. It was the efforts of these men that boosted these men and women. Because we also have persons down there like Sandra Bailey, one of my personal favorite road tennis players. Not because she's a player, but overall she's a really nice person. So shout out to my good friend Sandra Bailey, better known as Boo. Beautiful drag here across the Julian White.
Seeing here that Julian White is creeping back into this game, is 2018. Can he win this game, Dre?
No, darling, as we both know, tennis goes to 21, so I would not give up just yet. Still a great level of battle to go here. It's done.
21-18. First game goes to Dario Hinds.
Darling, the first game was pretty close, 21-18. Julian White only down by 3 points to get to that mark. First game, so hopefully we will see a stronger approach in the second game. He's warm now, so we wait to see what will happen. Over and out.
Second game.
All right, folks, welcome.